My name is Peter Markus, the author of this book, When Our Fathers Return to Us as Birds, a finalist for the 2021 Big Other Book Award for Poetry, thanks to John Madera. I'm going to read a few poems from this collection in memory of my father. What my father did not have to say. In his final days, my father did not speak because he could not speak. He did not ask how the car was running or about the kids or his granddog. He did not ask about work. He did not look out at the boats on the river to say, there goes a 32-footer, or the lines on that boat are really fine. He did not say the water was at its highest in 25 years. If his thin lips moved at all, it was only when I wiped them with a wet washcloth or put yogurt on a spoon up to them, hoping he would eat. He did not eat, and he did not speak, and soon his breathing slowed until there was nothing. He'd been slowly dying, and now he was dead. I did not know what to say, and so I said little out loud. I walked down to the river where I thought maybe I would find something there to tell me what I was supposed to do now. The loons sat on the water and dove under when a boat motored close by. They did not sing. Not right then, at least. Only later at night did they call out to each other, their voices crisscrossing the river in the April dark. In the name of the Father, in the name of the fish. In the moments after my father died, I lathered up his face with soap to shave him. It was the very least that I could do after everything he had always done for us. My mother praised my tenderness, how close I was able to get, under his nose and neck, those places where, when he was alive, he would pull his face away and tell me to stop. Afterwards, I went down to the river to draw a glass of water from the river we both loved. I dipped my hands into the water to anoint him in the name of the Father and the fish. On his head, his hands, his feet, his belly, upon his heart, I made the sign of the cross, followed by a fish, next a crescent moon. I raised the glass of water which sparkled. It was so clear and so clean, as was my father, as was the clarity that death brings. I did what I could to keep this. I am here to translate my father's death into fruit, something that can be held, to bring it up to your lips the way I spooned strawberry yogurt up to his and said to him the word eat. There was no use in the end. There was no hunger. When you are 86 and stop eating, you die. On his death certificate, under cause of death, the word malnutrition. I did what I could to keep this from my mother. When she saw it, I watched her face. What was left inside her went to someplace else. I said something to her to make sure she knew it wasn't her fault. There was nothing she could do. It means that he stopped eating, is all I said. My mother nodded. My father later zipped into a bag and taken away from us forever. The man who did the zipping took me by the elbow to tell me we might not want to watch. I took my mother into the other room, then went back because I wanted to see. My mother returned to see too. They wrapped my father up in a sheet my mother had recently washed. It smelled of lavender and bleach. I had shaved my father minutes after he drew his last breath, wiped his face clean in a way that pleased my mother. It was the least I could do. Later, when I asked if she was hungry, she shook her head to tell me no. I'd slept on the carpeted floor the night before my father's last, kept watch asleep in my clothes behind the couch beside his bed. If I dreamed, I don't remember. I don't remember more than this little bit I am trying to hold, this small fruit, a single grape pulled from the cluster in the fridge. They put my father into a van and headed south along the river. The road to the bridge gets bumpy, was all I told them after they shut the rear doors where they slid inside the narrow gurney with my father's dead body on it. He had already started to become something else. In the darkness at the edge of that road, I stood for a little while before walking down to the river where the dark water moved in its usual ways, as if it were following my father, going under the bridge they drove across as they took him even further away. Thanks for listening.